2023 USA and Canada 4 edition, where transformation begins. By becoming a sponsor at Travel Tech, you'll gain access to an exclusive platform to showcase your brand to a global audience. Here's why you should sponsor our event. Travel Tech provided knowledge to more than 167 countries. Travel Tech is the largest online event in the travel and hospitality industry, reaching the milestone of over 1,500,000 unique impressions in its events. Delivering to the world knowledge, free education, inclusion, and effective networking for evolution in the industry. Being an excellent means of showcasing your brand. Over 80,000 people attended our live events, generating more than 19,000 hospitality and travel-focused leads. Introducing Travel Tech Academy, a platform offering free courses designed to share valuable knowledge from the best professionals in the travel and hospitality industry. Our mission is to provide inclusive learning opportunities for those who may not have the means to gain qualifications otherwise. With Travel Tech Academy, you'll have access to top-notch resources and insights that can help propel your career in the travel and hospitality sector. Over 3,500 professionals have already taken the course on our platform, acquiring knowledge and improving their professional profile. Many professionals, through Travel Tech Academy courses, have managed to find better job opportunities in the job market. For more information, visit traveltechacademy.com. Stay tuned for the upcoming editions. Brazil and Portugal, taking place between May 23rd and 25th. APAC, happening between July 11th and 13th. LATAM and Spain, taking place between September 12th and 15th. EMEA happening between November 14th and 18th, thus concluding the events of 2023. And to become a sponsor of Travel Tech, get in touch through our website, traveltechspace.com, or by email at geraldo@traveltechspace.com. Travel Tech, what else?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Travel Tech US and Canada 2023. Today, our subject is guest experience. I would like to say hello to Sarah Nandashi, Rupesh Patel, Adele Goodman, Francis Hirarahian, and Neil James. Welcome to Travel Tech. Today, we have a really important topic as guest experience. Include everything before you come into the hotel, when you're buying directly through your website or directly through a travel agency or an OTA, when you arrive to the hotel, during your stay, in the upselling, when you say goodbye to the hotel, what happened with that guest experience. You have the best speakers that you can have on this on the word for me here. So I will give for all of you 2-3 minutes to present yourself. Let's start with Adele Goodman. Adele Goodman, please. You have your 3 minutes to express and present yourself, please. You can go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm Adele Gutman. I have a podcast and also a consulting service, Get Great Guest Reviews. I put out a lot of content on how to really optimize your guest experience and how to manage your reviews in a way that makes guests fall in love with you and become tremendous promoters of your hotel, how to sparkle more sunshine on your guests and elevate joy and diminish pain points, which not only creates guest loyalty, also employee loyalty, and definitely helps optimize your revenue. And in my past, I was the vice president of sales, marketing, and revenue for the Library Hotel Collection, which was very award winning. And Review Pro recognized us year after year as having the highest guest satisfaction in the world. And TripAdvisor recognized one of our hotels as being the #1 hotel in the world on TripAdvisor in 2017. And 3 of our New York hotels were in the top 25 in the country out of what do we have, like 90,000 hotels in the country. So I think I'm onto something, and now I'm here to share it with all of you.
Thank you so much, Adele, for the nice introduction. Let's go with Mr. Neil James, COO at Shiji Review Pro. Mr. Neil James, my dear friend, it's your turn.
Thank you, Vinny. So as Vinny mentioned, my name's Neil James. I'm the COO at Shiji Guest Solutions, which is a division of the Shiji Group. I am a former front of house manager, rooms division manager, ops manager, revenue manager, and general manager in the London Heathrow market. But over the past 16 years, I've been lucky enough to work in the technology sector for hotels. Initially at TravelClick, which I actually worked with Vinny for some time. And also the past 11 years have been dedicated to Review Pro. So at Review Pro and Shiji Guest Solutions, we basically provide software for hoteliers to help them create remarkable guest experiences. And this is through the use of guest feedback data, using online reputation and surveys to provide key metrics, but also semantic analysis in order to help hotels understand the feedback that they receive from guests and how they can use that feedback then to have a positive impact on online reputation, but ultimately the guest experience. We have indexes like the Global Review Index that enables hotels to track their experience against their comp set, right? And being able to understand how they can basically learn from strengths and weaknesses. We also provide guest communication solutions, which is an AI chatbot, outbound communication for the stay. And we also offer online check-in and digital dine solutions. So I'll talk a little bit about that later on, but I'm so excited to be here with this wonderful panel to talk about how to drive additional revenue through better guest experience, because this really is a topic that's at the forefront of our clients' minds. I'm really excited about 2023 and the crossroads the industry is at regarding the future of guest experience. So looking forward to this next hour and a half with everybody online.
Thank you so much, Neil. Welcome to Travel Tech again, my friend. Right now, let's go with our next special speaker that we have today. That is Miss Sarah Dandashi. Sarah, please, it's your turn. You have the #1 selling book in Amazon. You have ABC, NBC, the New York Times. You are so popular, on television, and then write down about hotel sites on the most important journals on US. So please go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't need an introduction after that. My goodness.
No,
Yes.
no, it's because after that I'm gonna ask for a commission.
Oh, okay, perfect. Done. Deal. So, as Vinny said, I'm the author of the book, which I'm doing right here, Hospitality from Within. Quick hospitality backstory so that you all know where I'm coming from. Is I basically worked in the luxury hotel space for nearly 18 years. I started when I was 12. I'm kidding. So luxury hotels from some of the biggest brands like Peninsula, Fairmont, Four Seasons, and also boutique hotels as well. And I have a brand called Ask a Concierge. So I do work with a lot of different hotel brands, travel brands, covering what there is in the world of travel. And many of those years in hospitality, I was a concierge, part of Les Clés d'Or, so the gold keys of concierge. So very much, as I like to say, on the front lines of the hospitality experience. I was working with guests on a daily basis from all different backgrounds. And then, yeah, so now I cover all sorts of different travel related trends. I have a new podcast that's coming up that I will share in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. And you are correct. I actually just came back from CBS just to join you guys. So
Thank you so much, Sarah.
of
Thank you
course.
so much. Right now, we have a huge name for our market that is Frank Kardashian, CEO and founder of BBDL event. Please, Miss Frances, it's your turn to present yourself. And thank you so much to be here with us.
Well, thank you. And thank you. You pronounced my name beautifully. So thank you for that. So happy to
Oh,
be here. And I'm clapping Sarah for Boutique Hotels
Woohoo.
because me and my daughter who runs BLLA are the, mother-daughter duo of Boutique. My background has been many, many years in travel and hospitality, having worked for Carlson Travel on the travel side, working with big clients like Disney and Toyota. So I completely understand distribution. From there, I created a consortia over 13 years that worked with travel agencies and negotiated hotel rates. We booked about 3 million room nights a year. And from there, I created BLLA because I started hearing from independent hoteliers that they didn't have anywhere to go. They needed help. So BLLA was born in 2009 as the official association for the world's authenticated and verified boutique hotels, which is around probably 30,000. We're still trying to figure out the exact number, but a lot of independent boutique hotels and small boutique brands. We have 5 divisions, BLLA.org being the main website. We also have Stay Boutique, which is a booking site for consumers. It's where we showcase these authenticated properties, and we have a direct booking engine there, also available for travel advisors. We have BLLA events, so we curate conferences. Our upcoming Boutique Hotel Investment Conference is in New York in June. I reside in sunny Los Angeles, by the way. Boutique Money
Neighbor.
Group is, and so does Sarah. Boutique Money Group puts together investors with developers or operators. So projects that are happening that are maybe off market, we pretty much marry them together. Love doing that. And last but not least, I have the Travel Industry Executive Women's Network, which is 13,000 women from all over the world that I started in 2008. And we just had a conference about a month ago. It was absolutely iconic. So I'm so happy to be here and talk about this subject, which I think is so important in our industry. So thank you so much.
thank you so much to be here, and I'm so glad you to accept to be here. And now, the another huge name from our market, that is Rupesh Patel. That is seeing at the end, he's a little bit angry at me because they chased him. Hey, Rupesh, you gonna accept? Rupesh, hey, hello, answer me, Rupesh. I'm sorry for that, Rupesh. If I bother you so much, but for me, it was very important you to join this panel. Rupesh is a person, is a personality, is a star also. He's a person that knows a lot of things about hospitality. He's an investor. So, but I need you to present yourself. I'm sorry. I'm stepping forward. Sorry, Rupesh. Thank you so much to be here. I'm very glad you to accept also. Please.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I thought this conversation was about how to groom your dog. I think I'm in the wrong.
Oh no, that's the chat room next door.
I think it's the next session.
Yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
hey, it's Rupesh Patel. I'm an owner operator of a dozen hotels within the United States, and just bought a hotel in the Bahamas as a boutique hotel. So I need to talk to Francis. Also an investor and industry advocate. I talk about what's happening in the hotel business, in my hotel businesses, and what's happening, around the world as far as hospitality. So I'm happy to share that on LinkedIn. And then I also have a website that's smartguests.com, which we help about 5,000 hotels within the United States with a bunch of different things in marketing. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
He's
Thank you.
also an
Thank you so
amazing DJ, by the way, which he's not going to tell anybody,
Yeah,
even though he's
you're a DJ
super
also.
famous.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I used to be a rugby player for a long, long time. I used to play in the second division of France, then the first division in Spain, but not a DJ. I'm not a good DJ. I play piano, I play guitar and a different, but not DJ. I can dance. I not be so well, but I can dance.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you went there.
I sing blues. I'm a little bit good singer of blues, but let's go with the guest experience. I think it's better.
Shizzy at him.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
okay. Thank you so much for everybody to be here and to have this positive energy here for everybody. Thank you for the tens that is coming on board to listen to us for this amazing congress that we have today about gas experience. And for the attendance that is coming and connecting, today we are talking about gas experience. So I'm going to start the round of questions that we're going to have. After each questions, everybody can set up any comment up to answer the response for all the speakers. And also the public, you can write down all your questions at the end of the panel. I will take down all those questions and we can ask for the best of the best here that you have. So doing a quite short introduction, when we spoke about guest experience, of course, we are talking about the experience of the client, but of course, the focus is also increase our revenue through the guest experience, making smooth and clear the way they can have a nice experience during how they will the reservation at the hotel, how it's gonna be they stay at the hotel at the same time, also the upselling and everything they can have at the destination. So the first question will go directly to Adele Gutman. Hello, Adele. So, Adele, how does focusing on the guest experience impact revenue? I'm gonna repeat the question. How does focusing on the guest experience impact the revenue? Go ahead. You have the time you need
My
to.
pleasure. My pleasure. That's my great question. Um, we're all here to level up our game, right? That's why we're watching this show. So if we really want to optimize our revenue, we've also got to be on a mission to improve the guest experience every single day. That needs to be a daily discipline, not just something written on a mission statement in a drawer. So I am going to give you in a few minutes my 5 top reasons why. There are many more, but my top 5 reasons how the guest experience is really the foundation of any revenue generating strategy. Number one, we get to keep the guests. You know what? We're all here knocking our heads together, trying to come up with new ways to attract new guests to us. Do we want that relationship to be a one night stand? Whew, I don't think so. No, none of that. None of that. We need to have people uh, fall in love with us. We need to romance our guests. We need to make them feel so special. We need to treat them with respect. That's what my mother would say if you want a long term relationship. And that's what we're really looking for now, right? So, you've got to think every time someone is giving you feedback, what can you do to turn that situation around if it's negative? What can you do to sparkle a little sunshine and a little love on that guest at every single touch point of their experience? You need to get your team to feel that you've invited them, inspired them, and empowered them to do whatever they need to do. They need to know that the number one goal is to make guests happy. And then we get to keep the guest. Not only do we get to keep that guest, but remember, they're going to tell their friends, they're going to tell their neighbors, they're going to tell their business associates. And if we're lucky, they're going to go online and give us tons of 5-star reviews, which is going to extend our reach around the world and attract new customers to us like a magnet. It also helps us, number two, to increase our lifetime value. Remember, that person is going to pay more for upgraded experiences, for longer stays. And just because they see that it's worthwhile to stay with you, they're happy to pay a higher rate. So they'll pay more, they'll stay more often, and they'll say more beautiful things online and offline to attract more customers to you. When you take care of somebody who's having a problem, you're not just taking care of that one individual in front of you, but all their future stays, all their people that they can influence through their comments and their love and their respect for your experience. You've differentiated yourself, and you've really just you've really enhanced your reach greatly, not only by expanding the lifetime value, but also the visibility. That's number 3. The visibility is so altered because all of the algorithms of the online travel websites consider the 5-star reviews and having a volume of enthusiastic 5-star reviews, and having very few really low-rated reviews, or even neutral reviews. The more 5-star reviews you have, the more visibility you're going to get on that algorithm. It's absolutely amazing how powerful that is. Expedia just doubled down on that. They said that this year I think actually in August of last year, they said that they've always had it as a part of their function, but now they're really seeing that it's very important because they want to see more conversions. And that's nothing new. You know what? Xerox did a study a long time ago, and they found out that the people who give them 5-star reviews were 6 times more likely to rebuy a Xerox machine than somebody giving them a 4-star review. That's because a 4-star review is really a neutral review. We've got to be aiming for 5 stars to increase our visibility. And we want to have every guest that comes into the hotel so inspired and so feeling so cared for, appreciated and respected, that they feel that they owe you the favor of giving you that review. And number 4, we increase our perceived value when we do this, because imagine if you have a hotel across the street that's getting that has 100 4-star reviews and you get 100 5-star reviews. They're going to say, hey, look at all these beautiful reviews. This is social proof that your experience is providing a greater level of enjoyment. Why wouldn't I put my care into the hands of people who really are showing me that respect and that care and that leadership in action, right? And of course, the 5th thing is that anytime you enhance the guest experience and whenever you're decreasing pain points, you're not just decreasing pain points for guests, you're also decreasing it for your employees, because they're not handling the same problems over and over and over again, which is soul crushing, right? You want them to feel happy. Everybody wants more love and joy in their life, right? And when the staff is getting lots of love and joy from the guests, saying thank you so much, you really were so influential on making my experience so wonderful. All your ideas, your problem solving solutions, any suggestions, you were so thoughtful. I have a sticker on my computer that says "Be thoughtful" from Sarah. I have it about it all the time.
I love that.
You know what? Your staff is so thoughtful. And when they get that kind of feedback from guests, guess what? They feel successful. They feel part of a winning team. And you're definitely going to keep your staff longer. You have more employee loyalty, more guest loyalty, and more revenue. So I would definitely say that this is so important. Mickey Drexler, who was a former CEO of The Gap and some other retail companies, he was on television yesterday afternoon, and he said, read the reviews. It's an indication, it's of leadership. So if you're a leader, this is your job to make sure your team feels inspired, invited, and empowered to make guest stay, and your revenue will definitely shine from that. And go out there and reach for the stars.
Adele, so basically we have here like a blend. Basically we need to have a lot of education on our staff. That is the number one. Right now that everybody's speaking about AI, I assume that normally right now and for the future, AI is going to be, but the blend of the human being and education, the AI never on the hospitality industry, the human beings never is going to be uh, like a robot. If I go to a resort, I don't want to see a robot giving me a beer. I want to speak with I can, I don't know, I was in the sea. I want to make a joke with it. Hey, beer. It's summer. Do you want another beer too? I pay to you. If somebody's watching, I give to you other. I don't know. It's just but it's the blend and the education of the staff is going to make that happy. Somebody want to say something, Rupesh? Going to add something? No?
Oh, no, no. Actually, we just had this conversation yesterday. So we had this all staff meeting at one of my properties, and we talked about reviews for a long time. We talked about guest satisfaction and talked about how to engage, and I think that's very important. I recently stayed in South Florida about 2 weeks ago, and I paid a lot of money for this room, and honestly, none of the team members actually engaged with me, which was pretty sad because I could have left a really good review if I had connected with one person at the hotel, and that didn't happen. And I feel like, just yeah, technology is cool, but if you can really connect with that person with conversation, I think it's super important. And that's going to drive reviews, and that's going to drive customer service and guest scores and all these different things that we're all looking for.
Yeah,
I think,
I think just to add to that, I think
yeah.
one of the key things following the pandemic is that people are super excited to travel, right? And there's such a motivation to travel, but they want that experience to be better than it ever was in the past because they've been waiting and they've done their investments at home and now they're investing in that travel, that experience to feel different, right? And on a webinar that we did with Booking.com a couple of months back, one of the things that they mentioned is that on Booking.com, reviews are the third most important factor in choosing a destination behind location and price, right?
Mhm.
So the ability to be able to make sure that, as Adele said, you're getting those 5-star reviews and that everything is about experience. And one last point I wanted to add, because Adele made me think about it when she was talking, was that we met with a really large hotel group here in Europe back in October. And the COO of that hotel group said, moving forward, guest experience is super important. But personnel experience, employee experience is even more important. That is how you make sure that your team have the best tools in order to serve your guests, that they have more time to be able to serve their guests, and they feel excited to be there. Driving revenue and upselling is going to be super easy then, right?
It's so important to let technology power your team to do what they're on a mission to do, what they're inspired to do. Buying the technology alone is never going to solve your problems, but technology in the hands of an inspired team is, the sky's the limit. There's nothing that they can't do.
If I may chime in and answer the question that you had that Noah had sent in about
Yeah. You can go ahead. I'm
which
gonna set this for the end of the panel, but go ahead.
oh yeah, no, it was just a
Again,
really
sorry, again. Sarah,
so
sorry. I'm all the day here. Sarah, go ahead, please.
of
Yeah.
course. So I just wanted, because you had it up for a while, and this is something that I know personally from being a former concierge, understanding this has been something I've thought of for quite some time. So to quickly kind of answer, this question, a lot of guests are wanting to message and they don't necessarily want to have that FaceTime, or maybe they're doing something else. So how can you still have it feel high touch while you might just be texting? And two ways, or two simple things. Keep it very personalized and check in, be proactive. So I would almost view messaging like, if a guest is walking by the desk and you might say, oh, hey, how was your lunch at XYZ restaurant? Did you enjoy the tuna tartare? Check in, not a lot. You have to do it very, be very mindful so that you're not constantly checking in on them. But it's being proactive and checking in on the experience, and then saying, oh, since you like this, I was actually thinking about it. You might enjoy a happy hour here if you were looking for something to do this afternoon. Whether they take your recommendation or not, that is how you are initiating that, or continuing that high touch interaction just through text messaging. So kind of just think about those guest experiences, how you might have them in person, and then you can apply that to messaging. Yes. So there I wanted to answer that because and we'll talk more later at the end, but
Thank you so much, Sarah.
I would love to say something about that because I had an experience that's
Okay,
so
let's go.
related to that. I once got a text message while I was at a boutique hotel. Sorry. And it was from a human, and it was just so transactional. Where is the complimentary coffee? I knew that there's usually, or I said, where's the coffee in the morning? And instead of saying, our complimentary coffee is served from this hour to this hour in this restaurant, and you'll see it just off the lobby, and all the details that I would want, it said it's in Rosalie's or whatever it is. It was so, and I thought, you know what, a beautifully crafted with love comment that was programmed in and delivered to me would have been better than that person in a rush. So sometimes, it's like we're trying to make our robots feel human, but we're making our employees feel robotic. And somehow we've got to make sure we have beautiful, compassionate, and thoughtful employees, and they are crafting the beautiful messages, even though their vehicle is automated. It's still a human heart that's behind it.
Yeah, and I think it comes to your point earlier about how you make sure that the team themselves are delivering the right message, right? Because the thing is even though you're using technology and you're using messaging, at the end of the day, this is still another way to provide guest service and to make the guest feel special, right? And if you're not personalizing it, then it's going to break the experience massively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I think, if you're messaging for towels, let's say a guest is messaging for towels and somebody has to bring it to their room, right? That's an opportunity for you to really connect and, add some value to the guest stay. And I think that's very important when you can not just say, here's your towels, but ask a question or make sure that everything's fine in their room, or if they need anything else. I think that's important. And I think that's something that we should really focus on, is just that engagement part.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the next question. Let's go for Neil James. We have here Alagirami. Sorry, Alagiriz. Sorry if I do sometimes things difficult. I don't want to be disrespectful with anybody, and even with their attendants. So we have Alagiriz. Sorry, man, it's difficult for me. Alagirizami. Can technology enhance the guest experience? I'm gonna make the question for Neil. He's the most technological person here. I'll be able to. And his answer, he put this. And for sure, Kyle can answer it. Yes, for sure, yes. But let's go with the Neil question here. So, Mr. Neil James, can you provide 3 ideas to help hoteliers manage their online reputation and improve the guest experience? Exactly how will this help them drive more revenue? I'm going to repeat the question. Can you provide 3 ideas to help hoteliers manage their online reputation and improve the guest experience? Exactly how will this help them drive more revenue? All yours.
Right. You said I have 3 hours, right, to go into this?
No.
So obviously, I'm going to say my first response is going to be, you need to be using a tool like Review Pro. I'm obviously going to say that. I think, it's really key for hoteliers to continue to focus on managing reputation in order to improve the guest experience. And what do I mean by that? Because many hotels think that managing reputation is simply responding to reviews, but it isn't. Yeah, managing reputation is taking that feedback, understanding that feedback, and then taking actions based on that data in order to improve the guest experience, and make sure that you're then communicating to your guests in the future that you've taken those actions for the future guests that come into your hotels, right? So that's the first thing. Understand also what are the issues that your competition has. So with a tool like ReviewPro, we have semantic analysis, and this is taking the context from the reviews and breaking it down into categories and concepts. How can you understand that from your property, but also in relation to your competition, because we provide you that data, right? So look at the strengths and the weaknesses of the review content of your competitors and understand how can you make that work in your favor, but also what are the things that your competitors are doing that may be new? Why all of a sudden are they getting really positive reviews in their bar? Have they invested in it? Do they have a new menu? Maybe they've got a new mixologist for cocktails, right? What is it that's going on so that you can make sure that you continue to be competitive? Also, we all talk about the importance of driving revenue, etc. And so many hoteliers these days are using STR in order to track their revenue generation index. Make sure you map that against ReviewPro's competitive quality index. Understand what's happening with your reputation and what market share are you getting from online reputation in comparison to your revenue share, right? And then how you can take actions based on that particular data. And I think when talking about reviews and surveys, there's one thing that for me is really important, right? We've got the whole guest journey. And one thing that many hotels forget is that many times the guest survey that you send out at the end of that stay, that's their last touch point. That's your last point in order to be able to get great guest feedback and understand how that experience was. Don't audit your guests. Ask them for feedback on this stay. It's very different, yeah, because that's how you can understand what were the key things that impacted them, rather than asking 100 questions based on every single touch point within the hotel. You've got your teams to do that. Make sure they are the ones that are doing it. I think the other thing then is how you can use management response in order to set correct expectations, right? When you're getting reviews, you may get feedback from guests and they're complaining about specific things that they weren't aware of, they didn't know was available in your hotel, etc. Your reviews and the management response that you give enables you to set expectations for all those future guests that come in the future, right? Tell them exactly why a guest wasn't able to find the way to your property. Make sure people know that there's a specific roadworks happening at that time, or there's a different layout that people may not be aware of, or the bus route has changed. You can give that information and people are going to read it. Also, make sure that you are letting your guests know that you take feedback and you make changes based on that feedback. For example, using phrases like, I'm glad you enjoyed the bathroom, as many of our guests enjoy our luxury bathrooms amenities that we recently upgraded in the hotel. Oh, we're so glad to hear you enjoyed the new bar menu. We received so much feedback from our guests related to the bar menu in the past, and for that reason, we've used the influence of our guests to design our new bar menu, right? So you're showing that you're actually taking that feedback in order to drive what's going on in your hotel. And then finally, my last point is we run a quarterly benchmark report based on reviews from over 7,000 hotels across the globe. And what a lot of this is showing us is that guests are more impatient, they don't want to queue, but at the same time, the semantic data is showing us that personality and attitude are trending super positively, and experience, staff, and service remain key drivers for positive online reviews. So as we talked about technology, use technology to take the admin tasks away from your teams. Use a solution like an online check-in solution. That means that a guest can do all of the check-in just like they used to doing when they go to an airline. They can do all of the admin that they need to do, so that by the time they get to the hotel, they can have a conversation with the hotel receptionist or concierge, because the key is already made. They can even maybe go and pick up the key from the bar and have a drink while they're getting that key and finishing off the last process. Why do I need a receptionist to be looking down into the computer, putting all the data in? That's not a guest experience, right? In addition, make information easily available. We were talking about messaging earlier. We've done studies with so many of our clients where so many of the questions that come to the reception team through telephone, through huge queues at the front desk, are repetitive questions. In fact, one chain said to us that over 94% of all the requests that came to them were from the same 18 questions. So you can use technology like a chatbot in order to be able to help respond to those questions, but still give a guest the opportunity to speak to an agent if they wanted to be more personalized. Yeah. And then finally, give your guests the ability as well to have the power of choice. Use a digital dining solution as an example to give them the opportunity to be able to choose what food do they want from their room, to not have the guilt. And this, we've spoken to customers of ours that are actually seeing that revenue has increased using a digital dining solution by 40%. So this is the ability to be able to order food from your room off your mobile, seeing lovely little pictures, not feeling guilty because there's a waiter looking over my shoulder and should I take that extra chocolate cake or should I not? Oh, bugger it, I'm going to do it. Nobody's watching, right? And then from there, 40% they see the average check value increasing once they implement a solution like that. So plenty of opportunities there in order to be able to improve the guest experience and drive additional revenue.
Thank you so much, Neil. Excellent. I don't know if somebody wants to say something. If not, I go with Sarah.
I definitely want to applaud what you said about the responses to reviews should showcase leadership in action, actually saying what you have done to address a person's comment, because there's nothing that makes a person feel more respected and more heard than knowing that you've taken action, and they feel more committed to your hotel than ever when they have that. And just too often hotels say, we'll take that under advisement. Thank you so much. I hope you'll give us another try. Sorry, we didn't meet your expectations. It's so, it's so rote that what we say over and over again. Instead, be a leader and say what you did do, that you did hear them, and what you have already accomplished. Better to take a day or two longer to answer the review and make it a really high quality leadership in action response. I really loved that.
Well,
I like that. I like that. Sorry, I like that idea. I like that idea of reviewing to all reviews, including negative and positive. I mean, when I'm buying something online, I'm looking at the reviews, but then also oftentimes there's questions that aren't on the FAQ page of the hotel's website, which I find in the reviews as a response from the management. And so that's a big opportunity. And I see a lot of hotels right now missing out on this great experience for a guest to get questions answered without calling the hotel, without doing anything, just doing their shopping as they would trying to think about what property they're going to stay at.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just would like to add something concerning, for example, the reviews. We have different products. So corporate hotels, we can have leisure hotels, we can have resorts. But when we talk to corporate or a mix corporate and leisure, not resorts, but I'm talking about revenue management, to set pricing, for example, for your hotel. Normally, we have a lot of hotels. I have 7 points in Booking, for example. Just use Booking as an example. I need to check all the time the prices for my competitors. I need to have at least 60% to get, I don't know, 7% return of investment per month. When I talk 60%, 60% of the hotel, minimum of the hotel sell. Okay. Um, However, when you have 8.8, 9.5, then your pricing means that you don't need to look too much for your competitors, because if you have 9.5, means that your price doesn't matter so much the pricing for your competitor, because means that your public love your hotel, and that kind of thing. They don't care if they're paying a little bit more or they're paying more to be there, because the guest experience they're having, it's awesome. So check those reviews. It's important. Get a higher note for your reviews and have an excellent guest experience. Will impact in your revenue and impact in your pricing. So it means that you can have a higher price and people will pay for that. You agree or not?
100%. Absolutely.
And you don't have to be a 5-star hotel to get 5-star
No,
reviews. You can be a
No.
food
no,
truck. You can
no.
be a yogurt
Uh,
shop.
You can be a three-star hotel. You can be a boutique hotel. For
Absolutely.
example, if you have a 9.0, and if you're using a rate shop or even our RM automate, you don't need it. You just need to put your prices the way you want, maintain the gas experience, and put your prices higher, and you will sell, and you will maintain a higher reputation. Because, and even you're gonna have uh, I don't want to say this way. I speak English. I'm a nervous instead when I have to get nervous, and I don't know why my English is so cow that the words are falling apart. But
You said,
what I mean here is that if you have a very nice position, you're gonna have like a higher gas on money. So you're gonna have gas that can pay for that, and they'll be able. You have a different kind of gas. The gas that don't bother you because they have a nice experience. They will pay to be there, and they will pay more if it's necessary. And it's the kind of hotel because we can have resorts that you have full of people, and then all the time. So, for example, I'm the kind of person that don't want to go with hotels that have 1,000 rooms. Why? Because I don't want to sit down and have a lot of people. "Oh!" I want to be in a place where the next people beside of me is like that 7 meters. I don't want noise. I don't want when I go to vacations. I want to be calm because every time it's 24 hours working, we are stressed all the time. It's part of my life. So when I go to a beach or I go to the mountains, I want to be calm. So if I go to a hotel, I want a hotel that maybe have 50 rooms. It's the kind of hotel I choose for like this. I don't have too many people side of me. And of course, I always choose hotels in 8.5. I'm going with groupish. I just said I look always for the reviews. I look always for the good and the bad reviews. And if they have bad reviews, even if it's small bad reviews, I check the bad reviews to see if the points of those bad reviews have some kind of inputs. Because maybe you have 5 bad reviews, but those 5 bad reviews are the same, and go the shower never works, or the bedroom never cleans, and I'm very obsessed with people. I have Asperger, so when I go to some place, things need to be very correctly. So if I go to some place, something is not correct, is not aligned, I get anxious. So those small things change my point to check a room, for example.
I'm going to
Yeah.
give you an action step
I'm
right
raising my
now
hand up here.
on that. You know what? A lot of people are like you, Vinny, and will go and look at what the negative reviews are and how they were responded to, and if those things are still happening now. So go back. You have the power. If you didn't respond in the past or you didn't respond with leadership in action, you can now take the time and go back, even if it was 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, and say, you know what, we've remodeled since then. You know what, you were complaining that that children weren't allowed at the pool, but now we have children's hours until noon. Or you were complaining that there were too many kids at night at the pool, and now we have adult hours in the evening at the pool. Whatever it is, now we have more vegetarian options. Whatever it is, say what you've changed and done since then. Show them your leadership in action. It's never too late to revise your response. People
Right.
are
Francis, go
Yeah,
ahead.
just real quick, about reviews, about the chat on your website, about executives responding to reviews. We all use reviews in our life, whether I'm going to a restaurant, it doesn't matter, whether I'm buying a new appliance for my home. We're all going to look at those reviews. And as you said, Vinny, you look at the bad reviews too. You see what they say. Is it real? Is it not? And now we have to deal with, in fact, I was contacted today about a chat a chatbot that answers your reviews, which I don't really like that. I don't think it's real. But I wanted to say on our Stay Boutique website, we do have a chat on all our websites, and we respond to them like immediately, no matter what time of day or night it is. Somebody had contacted us. They had a bad experience at a hotel. So we're kind of the intermediary. So I immediately got in touch with the owner. Of course, we're boutique hotels. I got in touch with the owner and I said, here's what's happening. I'm going to remove you from the site right now. You need to respond to this. And Adele, you're right. It has to come, I think, from a leadership position, C-level if possible. Director of sales is fine, but you need to have, somebody really answering that with an authentic message. So it doesn't feel like a chatbot, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
But you
correctly.
can use technology to assist you in and you can use all your associates. You can use your front office manager to research the issue. You can use the sales director to maybe compose something nicely, or even AI to compose something nicely for you as a suggestion. But
Right.
then at the end, you have to you have to be trained and highly skilled in how to respond in order to use the tool. It's like a scalpel in my hand is dangerous, but in my brother's hand, it's life-saving. So a tool has to be in educated hands.
So I go because we have a half an hour, and we have three questions from the public that we need to answer. I'm gonna rush a little bit. Sarah, we have a question here. What are the 5 easy ways can start to elevate your guest experience? I see Cadell already say a little bit about it. So you can go deep inside. It's your turn. Then after that, we go to Francis and Brutus. Let's move on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of you, and everything we're listening here is really it's knowledge. It's pure knowledge. For I hope all the attendants are loving this because I'm loving it. I'm really loving it.
Well, I'll keep this brief for time because I know I'm tied on time as well too. So just to kind of to think about it, I mean, really at the end of the day, there's no one size that fits all. There are many types of properties, and so to come up here and say, how could you enhance your guest experience? Well, you should give free martinis or upon check-in, whatever. That doesn't apply to everybody. So I'm going to go a little bit broader and have you all remember it's the big thing is just about training, and it's training your staff that is interacting with the guests on a regular basis. Do not sleep on training. That is where you create that company culture. And if you do it right, you give them the ownership that they can go ahead and have that creativity and that excitement and keyword that Adele said multiple times, inspired. And then we all know that an inspired employee, they're the ones that are going to create those magical moments. And it's those magical moments that you can't check off on a box. That is really what's going to be a special guest experience. And again, it doesn't have to be a 5-star hotel. It can be any sort of property. So, so a couple key things, and this is for yourself and also for your employees. The number one thing is to just be present. I know it's so easy. We're juggling multiple things at a time when we're at a property, but be present, because this is where you can start to genuinely and authentically engage with the individuals in front of you. And by being present is where you are opening yourself up to, again, creating these special guest experiences. The number two thing, super simple, but again, I think we've overlooked this, is think like a guest. We've all stayed in many, many hotels. We've all done vacations. We all know what it's like to go to a destination and you go to check in and somebody's just having an off day and you're like, oh my gosh, I just got off an 8-hour flight and I got here and I'm finally here and I'm excited to put on my flip flops and go out to the pool. And this person's kind of rude. Like, it just sets the tone in such a different way. So that's a simple example of, again, remind yourself, think like a guest. How do you want to be treated? What would tickle you, so to speak? And because again, this is going to be different for every property, whether you are at a Comfort Inn or whether you are at a Waldorf Astoria or anything in between. A big thing that I see, there's a huge discrepancy. This has been at every single property that I've ever worked at and every single property I've ever stayed at. Communication between front of house and back of house. It's like there are two heads on the same monster, and it doesn't need to be the case. I shouldn't say monster, but on the same robot or the same machine. And you having that communication between back of house and front of house is so key. It sets up the guest experience with the pre-arrival emails to then how things are actually executed. And you need to have that through line. So that's something that's very, very critical as well. Consistency. It's wonderful if you create one special guest moment, but to not do it consistently is you're not creating that that guest experience that people are buying into. You know, you buy a Coke product because you know what you're going to get in every single bottle of Coke. Now, when you're coming to a guest experience, you can't bottle up and necessarily have the exactly same experience, but you have to have that consistency. So again, if the service element is the product, that has to be consistent so that they know every time they come, it's going to be the same thing, because that is why they will continue buying and coming back. And we all love return guests. And then the final thing is, again, the word that's thrown around all over the place is personalized. And that's kind of what this whole thing came from, is personalize the experience, because every guest is going to be different. You've got family travelers, business travelers, solo travelers, couples, people celebrating anniversaries. And if you don't personalize it, we're just living in this hyper-personalized age where everything is at your fingertips. And if it's not personalized, it just doesn't feel special. So, but if you do these other things, if you're present and you're actually engaging with the guests, and then ultimately, if you're giving your employees that sort of ownership to have that creativity, to maybe do something a little bit special, that is how you're going to ultimately increase the guest experience. And these, again, very broad overview, but it's not one size fits all. Just as you want to personalize the guest experience, you have to personalize your guest experience.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I know that you need to leave, as you told me. You have another meeting. So thank you so much to be here. I go with a question for Francis right now. So let's move forward. Just let's go to the next question.
Absolutely.
Francis, how do personalization and loyalty programs equate to higher revenues? I'm going to repeat the questions. How do personalization and loyalty programs equate to higher revenues? It's all yours.
Yes, just adding on a bit to what Sarah had said. Everything we're talking about here today, I say that all roads lead back to revenue, right? It's about taking care of the person that walks in the front door and throughout their journey with your individual property. Yes, there could be chains involved in other things, but it's that personal journey. And I had Horst Schulze, the co-founder of the Ritz-Carlton, at my conference last year, and he told me about his experience. And he said this, particularly about boutique hotels, taking care of the person that walks in the front door, whatever that is. If they want personalization, if they want to check in, on their phone, but maybe they don't. Maybe even if they do, if there's somebody on their floor, if you're in a luxury hotel, greeting them saying, your room is down this way. I know a lot of luxury boutiques who do that. Loyalty, I want to go back a little bit outside of our industry, luxury retail brands. I've always gone outside of our industry to get knowledge, to be able to take back into the industry, because I think we get tunnel vision so many times. So look at what luxury retail brands are doing today. They do a really good job with loyalty, and I'm not talking about points. It's like keeping customers loyal to luxury brands is only possible through that exceptional customer journey, with or without a loyalty program. Some luxury fashion labels, such as Louis Vuitton, don't have a loyalty program at all, but they do reward customers with special experiences and services to their top spenders. The cruise lines do the same thing to their top spenders. They have, you know, a personal party, or you'll have special things in your room, or your badge will be different, but it's all, that's all personalization. Tech-enabled loyalty, just diving a little bit into tech, I always say you can do attribute selling, which is something new. So again, more revenue, like airlines do. They'll sell you a different seat, and you have inclusions and so on and so forth. Hotels can do the same thing, where they can sell a particular room. Now, you do need technology behind that, because that room will have to be pulled out of inventory. However, a satisfied guest who says, I don't want to be near the elevator, I want to look over the pool, and I want to guarantee, and guess what, I'll pay more for it. I'm coming with my family. I don't want a view of the mountains. I want a particular view, and I'm willing to pay a little bit more, just like you're willing to upgrade your airline seat, right? Because you want a little bit more leg room. That's like instant loyalty right there. Mm-hmm. The other thing is giving your staff the autonomy to handle things, any situation that occurs, and support their decisions. If you have that in your property, things will turn around. I remember when I was working for Carlson, I was part of when Radisson had this new program. It was called Yes, I Can. And it was supported by all the management, so that the front desk or back of house or whoever, if a guest had a problem, the staff was allowed to make a decision. Of course, they have to live with that decision, to make a decision to take care of that guest. And guess what? That is like instant loyalty. Like you show that you care. And if you empower all of your employees to be able to do that, you're going to have to train them a little bit, but let them make the decision. And, you know, more time, 98% of the time, they're going to make the right decision. They're not just going to do it because, but you know, that's going to drive loyalty. Repeat business, you know, I think is a key driver of revenue for hotels. Encourage, you know, guest loyalty by offering reward programs right when they check in, you know, or send something to their room if they're a repeat customer. If you're able to collect data on your customer, whether you're a restaurant or you're a hotel, I think if you can do that, you're not going to be able to do it a large percentage of the time. But if they're a direct customer, number one, you can, of course. If they're coming from an OTA, you're going to have to start a profile on them. Those customers are not only going to give you great reviews, they're going to come back and they're going to put it on all their social media. So if you welcome guests with a personalized note, you know, you can have them printed up on a beautiful card, whether it's a return guest or it's a new guest, just 2 cards, and the GM just puts his signature on it. That's it. That kind of personalization goes a long way. And you add a little bowl of fruit, like an apple and an orange or something, to their room. Very inexpensive. However, it goes such a long way. And I think it's so important. And again, I think all of these roads lead back to revenue.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all the insights, Francis. It was awesome. Thank you so much. Somebody wants to say something about it or add something, Rupesh?
One small comment related to personalization that everybody's mentioned. And I think, you know, one of the things that I see as a corporate guest many times is you'll stay at the same hotel multiple times. You'll go to that hotel, you'll go to the front desk. They ask for your ID so they can see that you've been there multiple times, and they will still give you the same check-in script over and over and over.
Yes.
That's not personalizing.
No.
I need to know that you know that I come here very often, and you just need to give me my key and let me go to my room because I know most of it, or at least say, it's wonderful to have you back here again, you know. But that kind of recognition, I think, is super, super key. And I think one thing you mentioned, Vinny, about corporate and leisure guests, the same guest can be both. right? I can
Yeah,
come to your hotel as a corporate, but then if I'm coming with my family, you need to be able to recognize that I might want a total different experience to when I come on my own to when I'm coming with my wife and daughter.
for sure.
Right? And I think that's super, super important to recognize that from the front of house team.
And it could be the
Sometimes
Yeah.
same stay.
sometimes that comes from the PMSs. We have different PMSs that don't have that kind of alert, but I think that PMSs maybe that needs to have that kind of alert. This is a guest has already come here like 5 times, and we have a lot of PMSs that don't have that kind of future. And I think most of them needs to care about guest experience, and sometimes they care of the financial stuff in the organization, and then they can connect to incidents that they can have in the hotel. But sometimes it's because of the training and educational, because the staff don't have that kind of educational, and the PMSs they have that kind of gap. If they use, we have a few. I know more than 100 PMS right now all over the world, but for the 100 I know, only 3 of them tell to the guest, "Hey, this guest is already here. Take the key and say hello to them." And the PMS tells to the receptionist, "Hey, here, don't give me anything, just sign and have your picture." Because the PMS, when you arrive the first time, take a picture of you and brings up, I don't do spoilers, and I don't tell the name of PMSs, but they give you, they take a picture of you, they stay in the system, they have your documentation already, and they just make you sign the paper. Just sign for me here. Here's the key. Welcome back. And what they do, those PMSs, one day before start, they alert the housekeeping to manage something. If you're a regular or frequently customer for that hotel, to give you some kind of something on that room. But for the 100 PMSs that I know on the entire world, only 3 of them that I know do that. So let's go with Rupesh. Rupesh, you are the last one. Let's go with you, and then I go with the 2 questions only that we're going to have, and we'll finish this. Sorry for if I. Well, okay, I don't sorry for nothing. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, a lot of great information here provided by everybody. I wrote down a bunch of notes, so great job, all of you guys. I like the idea that Francis, Sarah, all of you guys shared the personalization side of the stay for guests is super important, and that increases guest satisfaction. It builds loyalty. I mean, about 10 years ago, I said, how can we, at a certain brand, I said, how can we make sure that the guest was really appreciative and they were acknowledged about their stay? And so I was like, what do guests love that they usually pick up at the sweet shop is a candy bar. And so I was like, how do we customize it with their name? So any loyal guests that come into our hotel, they get their name on a candy bar. And this is here's an example of a
Whoa,
chocolate box that we provide. So we get the
nice.
arrival every day. We get the arrivals list, and we have a box of bulk Hershey's or whatever the candy bar is, and we
Wow.
print out everybody's name on a template.
Amazing.
And so I started a whole company behind just that simple thing. Even like, how are you customizing? Check this out. How are you customizing just water bottles with, you're already giving water bottles away. How do you customize it on the fly? And you're using technology and building that guest relation and that guest rapport with that guest. If you're not coming to the front desk, you're leaving in the room, you're thanking them for their stay. Simple things that can really drive that guest satisfaction, that they know that they were the only person that got this with their name on it, right? So
Yeah, I never saw
I,
that before, man. If I go to a room, I have my on a chocolate bar my name, or on my I don't know. We go with my kid. I see Stella and Vincenzo. I said, "Wow, I will come back for this hotel for sure."
we at our hotels, we get reviews about this chocolate bar every single day, and that's why I created our website smartguests.com, because you can actually buy this template or a customized template, that
Awesome.
you can start improving your scores, start improving guest satisfaction, a lot of different things just from these simple ideas that don't cost a lot. So you don't have to be a 5-star hotel and by the way, I started this with an economy brand, and we probably spend $40 or $50 a month doing this, but it's improved our loyalty, it's improved our reviews, it's improved a lot of different things. And the best part is your staff gets to give it out sometimes, often, because they got the arrivals list. They check in the morning or in the afternoon, and they get to say, "Mr. Smith, thank you so much for staying with us. I customize this candy bar. Here's a personalized candy bar just for you. Thank you for being a Bonvoy member or whatever it is, right? Things like that you make that guest feel special, I love. So I have thought about probably like 100 things that you could do just on that personal stuff. But, talking about meeting, keeping that guest happy, I think meeting the expectation of what they're coming to the hotel for. I think we have to really start with that for a lot of hotels. We've cut a lot of staff. We've cut a lot of services at our hotels in the past, and we're bringing those back, and we have. But that expectation has to be there, and I think that we make sure the rooms are really clean and make sure that everything they expected is there, and then you can go above and beyond with simple things like this that can drive that guest to come back, tell 1,000 other people or 1,000,000 other people about their stay, and guess what? You start building loyalty that when you start building those raving fans that are going to come back to you. And then we could talk about all these other things that make a big difference in the guest stay about, pre-arrival emails where, hey, send a personalized email. And there are so many cheap and easy ways to do this these days of asking that guest, hey, I see you're coming here in a few days. Here's what we offer, but here's also what else can we do for you? Like we can go, if you're in an extended stay, you can go shopping for them for their groceries. Like there's so many different things that you could do just on the service side that really don't cost a lot, but I think it takes a little bit of effort to do. And I think with the reviews that Adele was talking about, I think it's quality and quantity. You can't just have 5 good 5-star reviews. You need to have a lot, right? Because I know you guys, and I know I do. I shop on Amazon every single day, and I don't buy from that one person because it's a person that's selling the stuff. It's a company that's selling these things. It's on Amazon. I don't buy things from somebody that just has 1 or 10 reviews. I buy something, even if it's 4 stars and not 5, with 1,000 reviews because I trust them a lot more. And so it's quality and quantity that we need to consider when we're talking about reviews and improving our online presence, which leads back to, like Francis said, revenue.
So let's go with the last question, because we're already talking about technology. But how can we use technology to elevate the guest experience and increase revenues? You already started what you're showing us, what you're doing. I'm really impressed. To be honest, I have the opportunity in my life to be in 27 countries with a lot of hotels, and I never saw that. That is the first time. I'm really impressed to be. I see the face of Neil. Neil is impressed also. I see Neil right now, and he traveled more than 27 countries already. We are impressive. So go ahead, Rupesh. I'm really impressed.
I think I've already talked about a lot of these. It's the email that you customize prior to, as soon as they make their reservation, you can have an automated email. And there's so many, like I said, free tools out there or very cheap tools that you can use to automate the process. Sending out a text before, during, after, is a huge part of how I stay at hotels. I always have a question when I'm staying at a hotel because I have 3 kids and we're usually getting 2 rooms, and sometimes we want them connecting. Actually, all the time we want them connecting. And if they're not, like, are they next to each other? Or are they close by? Or are they on the same floor? All these questions, I don't want to sit on the phone for an hour waiting for somebody to pick up the phone. So for me, I love the Marriott app where you can message back and forth prior to my arrival. I like checking in at a certain time, and I like to pick that time. I like to pick my room. All this technology exists, and it improves that service, or it improves that experience for myself, and I know millions of other followers. So think about, like Sarah said, put yourself in the guest shoes and think about how you travel is how a lot of people want to travel these days. And also think about that airline customer that's booking and doesn't have to talk to anybody, and they love it. And sometimes I do love it too, but I like that engagement where if I need something, I know that someone's going to be there from a text. Even simple things, if you have a valet, don't let them call down to the front desk to have your car ready in 15 or 20 minutes. There are so many text tools right now that you could text your number and it automatically sends a message to that valet person. Within 5 or 10 minutes, your car is ready and you're not waiting on any phone calls to retrieve your car. So a lot of different tools out there right now to kind of improve that guest satisfaction. And our goal is that top 20% of guests that stay at our hotel, we want them to come back because they spend the most money and they stay with us and they tell a lot more people than the other 80%, right? So that's our goal. And I think that is important when you think about the journey of a guest and how they come back to us.
I think technology Oh, bye, Sarah.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
I just wanted to say, as an association, I get contacted every day by all the tech companies out there. If you're a hotel today, you must have an automated check-in, and some of these companies have lots of other bells and whistles, but honestly, it is so easy to do. And it doesn't mean your client's going to use it. They may still want to use the front desk, but please ensure that you have that capability. There's all kinds of price ranges out there, but please do make sure that your hotel, no matter what kind of hotel you are, or a motel even, have the self check-in.
Yeah, I think as well, one of the things that Sarah mentioned was about consistency, right? And there's a lot of people there's people that are in pro and against chatbots. But one of the things with the chatbot is you get consistency, you get multilingual, and if you get the right chatbot that enables you to personalize the messages and craft the messages correctly, like Adele was saying at the start, then you have the ability to be able to make sure that a lot of those particular requests are responded to consistently, providing the correct experience. And also, and this is the key thing, right? Because a lot of hoteliers tend to be afraid of, are we taking away that human touch by putting in the technology? Well, actually, we're not. We're trying to make sure that humans have more time to spend with the guests that need the service against those that maybe are happy to be with the technology. Right. So it's really, really important to think about when implementing technology, such as a chatbot, for example, don't think of it as another tool. This is a member of your team. You need to put the right information into it. You need to put the right investment into it. And if you do that, actually, your team are going to have so much more time to deal with guests and provide a better service.
It relieves their stress.
Yes.
And it allows them to have a life instead of spending ridiculous hours as in the past, something that people have complained about. We need those tools to make things easier. And, I definitely want to also chime in on something that Neil said earlier. When somebody makes a comment that they didn't know about something before or they were surprised to find out something that it didn't work the way it did, then not only can you respond in your response and give that information, but that means that you've got to go back to all your pre-stay information, your website, your booking engine, your confirmation, and your pre-stay email. You can have multiple pre-stay emails. Those pre-stay emails, when you're automatically sending out things that were misunderstandings in the past with other guests. Now you're going to give them the clearest, most beautifully organized information so they can be prepared for a fantastic stay. And continually, here technology is delivering to you all of these ideas and all of these experiences and feedback from the customer. We don't have to, we don't have to reach out for it. It can all come to us easily. And we can then in the moment say, oh, they keep asking this question, or this person is asking this question. How can I make sure that other people in the future are going to know that before they come? We have thrown our hands in the air saying, they should know this by now. Well, you know what? It's up to us to be great communicators and use our technology to make sure that they're prepared for a fantastic stay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We have only 3 minutes. We have 2 questions for Noah Bloom. I think we already answered it, but I'll just pass by if you want to answer it with a very quick question. So we have the first one. It's a question for the panel. Now, in a world of digital, Google monetizing reviews and influencers, what kind of concierge and whole hotel team do to make sure their local knowledge and recommendations beyond the hotel walls impact the guest? Who would like to answer this?
Oh, would have been a great question.
Sarah.
I would say from a boutique hotel perspective, as far as local goes, the boutique hotel is kind of the cement that leads travelers to the local area. So I think you don't have to know everything. However, you do have to connect your guests to that local area, whether it's 2 blocks or it's the entire city. So there's so many tools out there where you can get information. I mean, it's not hard to do. I think that's part of the answer to that question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to add on to that. So Review Pro has an AI chatbot, and with that AI chatbot, we actually connect to Google Places. So when a guest is in the room, they can actually search for those particular areas, that whether it be a restaurant or how to get to the metro, whatever it might be. But within that functionality is also we provide a curated list. So you can make sure that that curated list for those key items where you may have agreements with restaurants, with specific providers, you can provide that curated list first to make sure that those are the ones that the guest will get recommended first, and then show the rest of the search results based on the Google Places. So that's a great way in order to use technology in order to help with that. And the other thing that I would say is, which we haven't spoken much about this, I think Rupesh mentioned it at one point, is check in with your guests during the stay, right? Make sure that you're having those touch points during the stay, whether it be in person, whether it be digitally, whether it be a during stay survey. Make sure you give them the ability and opportunity to ask those questions.
One thing I like to do at the hotels is I believe that our team is the font of all wisdom. They know what guests are coming back saying that they loved about their neighborhood, and they know what they love about our neighborhood. So let your team put together a list of things that people always rave about, and what kind of people like this, and what kind of, maybe families like this and couples like this, and etc., and business people like that, and come up with those lists and then compile them and into a blog post or something that's attached to your website, and have it as a link so that when somebody asks, you've got the link already pre-written of your favorite romantic restaurants in the neighborhood, your favorite family restaurants, the best attractions you don't want to miss on a weekend visit to our city, things like that. It's just like automation, but it comes from the heart of your team.
I would like to stay here for 3 hours because I also knows a lot about guest experience. But right now, I'm as a moderator, I cannot speak so much. But I love to be here. I hope all of you love to be here also. And thank you so much for Sarah. She needs to leave. Thank you so much, Rupesh, Del, Neil, Francis. I'm going to give you a few seconds for all of you to say goodbye. Rupesh, please.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me on. You can find me on LinkedIn, where I talk about hospitality every single day, especially with a lot of polls and a lot of feedback from our connections on LinkedIn. A great place to learn about what's happening in technology and how to improve your revenues. So definitely connect with me there. Check out our website, smartguests.com, for tools like this. We have over 50 tools to help improve your hotel's reviews, get that guest to come back, and a lot more. Let's connect on LinkedIn.
Sure. Rupesh, if you want, also send us a few informations. We have a database with more than 25,000 professionals all over the world. We can do an email marketing to your entire database about what you're doing and everything. It's going to be, and someday, if you want to cooperate with Travel Tech Academy, you're welcome. Adele, goodbye. Please.
Hi, visit adelgutman.com, connect with me on LinkedIn. I have a newsletter there. I have a podcast that's about to start the next season. And I love to speak and counsel and coach hotel groups in how to inspire tons of 5-star reviews. Which definitely leads to happy guests, happy revenue, and happy employees.
Just remind the attendants that if you go to traveltechspace.com, that is the website for our event, you're going to see all the congress, and each congress you have the LinkedIn for all the participants that we have here, so you can connect with them, you can see what they do, so you have all the information about them on our website. We always did that. So Francis, keep touching. It's your turn, man. Maybe.
Absolutely. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well, but you must leave me a message because I won't know that you met me here. And I'm sure all of us get so many connection requests. I'm always available. So once we're connected, you'll have my cell phone. You can text me, WhatsApp me. I am available. I love communication, even on Facebook Messenger, etc., on Instagram, and all of our divisions. So come to a conference. Become a member. Once you're a member, you actually get access to all of the digital media, all the conferences over the last 12 years, where you can learn more about hospitality, and particularly boutique hospitality, investing, operating, managing, etc., etc. So thanks again for having me here today.
Thank you so much, Francis. Before Neil say goodbye, just to all the attendants, we're going to start promoting on the 13th of June. We're going to have a second masterclass from Neil James. I don't know the topic yet. I just wait to be made. But the 13th of June, we're going to have a new masterclass with exam for a new certification for Nchiji Group Guest Solutions. So Neil, it's your time, my dear and long time friend.
Thank you, Vinny. So I think simply put the guest and your team at the core of everything that you do. And if you focus on that and the data that it drives, it's going to help you to drive additional revenue. I'd like to finish off with a small thing, because I see Noah asked a question about how do you think fitness fits into the guest experience. And I'd like to use an anecdote here that one of our old CEOs or former CEOs used to say, and that was, you don't get fit simply by signing up to the gym. You actually have to go and work out, right? And the same thing happens when you buy tools and technology in order to improve the guest experience. You need to invest time and effort. But if you do that, it will help you improve the guest experience. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn if there's any questions. And thank you to my co-panel stars. It was amazing to spend this time with you. Thank you. Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you, everybody. So, ciao. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to Travel Tech 2023 USA and Canada 4 edition, where transformation begins. By becoming a sponsor at Travel Tech, you'll gain access to an exclusive platform to showcase your brand to a global audience. Here's why you should sponsor our event. Travel Tech provided knowledge to more than 167 countries. Travel Tech is the largest online event in the travel and hospitality industry, reaching the milestone of over 1,500,000 unique impressions in its events, delivering to the world knowledge, free education, inclusion, and effective networking for evolution in the industry, being an excellent means of showcasing your brand. Over 80,000 people attended our live events, generating more than 19,000 hospitality and travel-focused leads. Introducing Travel Tech Academy, a platform offering free courses designed to share valuable knowledge from the best professionals in the travel and hospitality industry. Our mission is to provide inclusive learning opportunities for those who may not have the means to gain qualifications otherwise. With Travel Tech Academy, you'll have access to top-notch resources and insights that can help propel your career in the travel and hospitality sector. Over 3,500 professionals have already taken the course on our platform, acquiring knowledge and improving their professional profile. Many professionals, through Travel Tech Academy courses, have managed to find better job opportunities in the job market. For more information, visit traveltechacademy.com. Stay tuned for the upcoming editions. Brazil and Portugal, taking place between May 23rd and 25th. APAC, happening between July 11th and 13th. LATAM and Spain, taking place between September 12th and 15th. EMEA happening between November 14th and 18th, thus concluding the events of 2023. And to become a sponsor of Travel Tech, get in touch through our website, traveltechspace.com, or by email at geraldo@traveltechspace.com. Travel Tech.